Okay, let's hope that this is really short, like less than 10 minutes, because I just literally have, what is it called? A light bulb going off in my mind right now. Just one simple little idea that I want to share. I hope it doesn't go too long. Okay. I can stop saying. I'm just gonna pause the recording. Just so you guys know, whoever's ever gonna listen to this in the future, and right now, whoever is listening, the reason why God makes demonic spirits, I don't like the word persecute. It makes me uncomfortable, but persecute me basically, just like a prophet, which means I'm under multiple witchcrafts. And then whatever, you get the point. The reason why demons follow me, using humans, they're possessing, even animals, pest situations, they're everywhere. Ever since before my birth, which is right, something not normal, only happens to prophets because, okay, it's not just to teach me that his religion is corrupted, his scriptures are corrupted, and to fix all the areas that religion needs to be corrected, which then fixes morality, which then fixes laws in a government. You know, the government can't mess with you anymore because now you're going to have a much stronger, healthier understanding of everything, that then you're going to be able to advocate for your human rights, such as abortion, or just, you get the point. I just like to give that as an example because that's right now the one humans are, right, dealing with. And other rights that you have, you know, even the way that they maybe use their money, right? Obviously, governments have a lot of money. Sometimes they put that money into things they shouldn't be putting it into, like that. Just justice and fairness and all that stuff is God, what he wants to bring down very soon, which is always what I mean by when I say the truth is coming. Okay, so just so you know, religion is connected to everything. Sadly, due to how the world is today, no one's connected to God. Everyone thinks religion is like a subject of life. You know what I mean? Like a subject, like, oh, math is a subject. I'm sorry, academics is a subject. Health is a subject. Health, like your own health body. No, religion is everything. It's not its own subject. It affects everything. It affects laws that you and I, as a species, have to follow, you know, and that we just naturally we operate within. So it's basically mankind, all of God's creation. It will impact them. So it's not a subject. Therefore, everyone God created, unless you're an object, right, needs to listen to what God tells them when it comes to religion. Okay, and there you go. He sends down people that he created and chose right from the beginning because they're connected to him. They're not going to lie to you. You know what I mean? They're obviously, that's why they're called messengers. You get me? Prophets were called messengers because they're like a messenger from God, you know? So that's what they call a messenger because they really are a messenger. They don't, you get me? They didn't go up to heavens and talk to God or anything like that. He reveals things to them. Okay, see, this is always what happens. I need to hurry up. So basically, I just thought of this as another reason why I need to tell you guys why God put me in this type of situation, right? Which is obviously going to be the same for prophets too, especially Islam. A little bit of the Bible, you know, some of the stories of those prophets like Noah. To some degree, there's some truth, like the ark, and then they obviously corrupted other parts. Islam, usually the corruption is how the prophets die. They act like the devil's so powerful. He just killed this one, chopped that one. He can't kill these powerful people God chooses, just so you know. And how God taught me that is that I just told you I'm in the same exact witchcraft that prophets will put into. Demons persecute me just like them, but they cannot touch me or kill me, okay? They're scared of me, just so you know. So there's a limit, but guess what these demons do every time they possess a human being? They act like they can act dominant around me. They act like they're not scared of me. So that's it. And that explains why when they corrupt God's scriptures, they act like they killed somebody they didn't. They act like they did A to somebody they didn't. Because the whole point is that when that person's alive, they act like they're tough and big around the person. But then they run off. If I tell their demon to get out of my face, they run off, which means the human ran off. Okay, so you get the point. Obviously, this would obviously apply to males because this is a masculine quality, right? But of course, they possess females who just act crazy in terms of for them, right? It would fit their gender. They just act crazy. But when a female is possessed by a male demon, then they sometimes try to act like a man inside of her. Not violent or, no. She's obviously female. I mean, like the ones who are like homosexual, they try to act like a man in the sense of the way their body language. You get me? They just walk like a man. That's God's way of teaching me then how homosexuality came out. You get me? It's because these humans are possessed by demons, and they're gonna be possessed by the opposite gender demon. Get it? So that's why then their body language is weird. You get me? It's not really only the human mimicking the opposite gender because they've lost their morality and their purity as a human, and they've lost their mind. No, there's a demon that can make it easy for them to keep doing that. Because obviously they get tired of mimicking the opposite gender. Wouldn't you agree? So obviously when they act like they can be violent or powerful or do anything, they're obviously using males. And then they're bringing those males to me and acting tougher on me. One time I was in Arizona. I was just walking, and I literally just got off of this bus. It was like a train, but it's like in the middle of the downtown. I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and at that time, to some degree, God let me have some good time. You know, I was traveling, but it was heavy persecution. Anyways, just so you know, I went to a lot of other states. I don't even mention some of them. Like I even went to Ohio. I just kept traveling, goodness, because they were everywhere I go. They just keep following me around. So, anyways. I told you, I keep thinking of other things when I just want to get to the point. I'd just like to give you examples. Okay, basically, right, they possessed this male. He just came out of nowhere. You know, it's like a train. You know how people exit. It's heavy, right? It's just a lot of people coming out all at once. So it's like crowded. So, of course, I'm not going to always see somebody, right? But obviously, I see them then walking past. Like, and they just make a perverted comment. They made some sort of nasty comment. Always when God makes demons, right, persecute me technically, they're always saying or doing something perverted in front of me. It's not directed at me. They're blind. God is just, you get the point. It's not directed at me, you know. It's just we're seeing what their power looks like. That's just how they act. Their first quality is to always act perverted. And obviously acting perverted is you acting dominant too, right? Because you're always treating human beings like some object. You're always acting like you're powerful, right? That's what a pervert is. He's trying to act dominant over you. Okay, so that's the other explanation then why they act like they kill prophets and stuff, because it already fits into the characteristic of the human beings they were possessing back then, who usually went against religion, which they were perverted. You get me? So since demons are perverted, they have another quality of acting dominant. You get me? And then for people who are powerful like a prophet, that they cannot act like that too. Okay, is God giving them extra power to persecute them like me and bother that person? But if things were just normal, right? The extra power is not normalcy. If things were normal, okay, then these are the people that they have to now, right? Obey and be submissive to. You get me? These are the ones you would agree from our species, the human race, that can control and literally destroy a demon. And evil humans, and humans overall. They're basically stronger than everybody. Okay, because they're not a regular human, get it? So it's not weird. So, okay, but when they die, God gives them permission to lie about them and lie about God. So they have the power from God himself to lie about God, right? And portray God as a weak thing. Insult God, which then that's weird, right? That's obviously a lot of power. If you're a creation and you can say things about a God that is not rational, you'll be scared of him, right? You obviously see humans every day who say things about God that are very, very evil. But then you should ask yourself, where is their fear? You don't have to know God, correct? Where did you get the power to say that about God? Like call him the B word, or you get me, nasty things, or say things like, you did something perverted and maybe you mentioned God. Like, whoa, where did you get the power to actually? You guys just think that's just bad behavior, but wait a minute. If you're a God, right, and you created this creation, exactly, just by nature, they don't have power to say things about you. You get me? Just the way that you just are. Okay, so where did they get the power, if they're a creation, to say bad things about God? God allowed that. He gave the devil extra power. So then whoever those demons are possessing are the only humans on the face of the earth who can have this quality. You get me? It's not everybody. It's only the ones who are possessed, and it's only the ones who are the worst of possessed. Like the more immoral you are. Okay. So it's a power given to demons, not you, the human. They're just possessing you, and then somehow that power then now is working within you. You think it's you. It's not you, it's them. If they exit your body, you probably can't do these things. Anyways. So for that reason, then it's understandable if God gave them the power to even mock him, and he's a creator, It's not hard to then believe he gave them the power to mock supernatural people like prophets and messengers. You get me? And it's understandable why they always talk about these men as if there's some weak little thing, as if they killed them, as if they just ran after Jesus and did ABC to him. No, you didn't. Liar. Okay? So I'm going through what they went through so I can see the truth, what they did to their life, their limitations, etc., and the power, the prophets obviously had. I have similar qualities that the prophets have, similar ways that I have authority and power over demons, which means you, the human being, I have authority and power over you in many ways. I told you you're not going to know what that is until the future. But right now, I exercise that a lot. You just don't know I'm exercising that power over you. You just don't know me. You're blind. So these humans who are possessed every day, I obviously command their demons to do things. And I also command the human to do things, and they obey. They just don't know who commanded them. They don't know where it came from. You get me? They're blind. They just see maybe a body sitting over there, right? A living being. But they don't know who that is. They don't know me. They can't see me. They're blind. You get me? Spiritual blindness. You can't see. Okay, so it's very supernatural things are happening, but no one knows. No one can see. That's the world we live in. You don't even know right now if Jesus is here and he's just in some random city. You don't know, get it? Just like you don't know me. You don't know what I'm going through because you're all blinded from me, right? It's the same thing for prophets then. When they come down, people are blind from them. They have to sort of introduce themselves to you when God tells them to. But before that, you're not going to know. It's like, that's what I mean. So then demons, because you don't know, because you're blind, demons get to then possess the worst of you, and they get to then use you to harass somebody that you cannot harass. You get me? They're supernatural, they're powerful. Like that. So it's God who's doing this. So don't actually think you're somehow equal to them or demons are equal to them. No. It's God doing it. It's their test. It's a test for them because they're actually powerful. They're actually stronger than humans and demons. But God is putting them in a situation where no one is treating them that way. They're being treated like a regular person that you can be, harass or bother. That's a test for them because if they're patient, then God is proud of them. You get me? Because he put them in a situation that is not normal, that is not fair to them. Okay, so yeah, for example, Arizona, right? I come out of the train and this demon possesses this crazy male. He just comes out of nowhere and he made that perverted statement. See, why perverted, right? They always have to say something perverted because that's God showing me that the perversions in religion is from demons. It's not from him. Because when demons are stalking and persecuting me, someone that is going to expose religion, the corruption in it, which means then whoever he chose in the past, like prophets, I'm not a prophet, they also had to deal with the same type of persecution. That means every day prophets were being approached by these same dumb, evil demons, possessing these typical, lowly, shallow human beings who are perverted, whether they outwardly express it or hide it. Okay, and that means the persecution they were going through was that humans were saying nasty, perverted things to prophets, and the prophets are pure people. They're good men. They're not the typical male in this world. Okay, so do you see the point? It's your opposite quality they exhibit. People of God, that he chooses himself personally, are pure in their sexuality. Okay, and demons are going to then bring the humans who are the opposite of them, perverted, and they're going to possess them, and they're going to make them say nasty, perverted things to this person. Get it? Because this pure person came to get rid of that quality. They came to get rid of humans who have those qualities. They came to get rid of those immoralities. They came to say, God is not, okay with you. And they have a chance to repent and change. If they don't want to, okay, goodbye. Go to hell. You get me? So then you see what I'm saying? Because these people are sent by God to stop these immoralities. Demons are going to possess human beings who have those immoralities. And they're going to harass you with those behaviors from those immoralities, because that's what you're going to get rid of. It's like, we're mad about the fact that this has to stop soon, It's like that. So they could exhibit any behavior, right? There's many types of bad behavior, but these humans, when they're possessed, their demons always make them act perverted around me, because that's what I'm going to get rid of. That's what's going to stop very soon. Okay, the other quality is the quality of a pervert. They like to act powerful and big and scary when they're just, when they're the weakest of the human race. And the male pervert, just so you know, is not a male. They're actually not a human anymore, because, right, they're filthy, so they're weak. Get it? Masculine only means a good man. So they lose their masculinity when they're pervert. So they're the weakest male. But guess what they act like? The most masculine, right? They act like their perversion, their sexism is what other males should emulate. and they try to teach you how to talk to women and treat people. And there we go again. The worst one always wants to take your spot. The good one, the normal one. Goodness. So for that reason, they like to act tough and big and powerful around me when they possess these people. But now I know they're demons, and I know it's not, you know what I mean, something that you have to get mad about. I just let it go. The demon is not actually saying that to me, just so you know. I'm just learning their psychology, okay? So for that reason, it doesn't matter. But when I was young and I didn't understand what the hell was going on, I'm just thinking, what? What the hell is wrong with this? I still knew it was fake. Goodness, I always knew God was putting me in that situation. I just didn't necessarily say to my mind, it's a demon, correct? I just thought God was making humans do that to teach me their psychology. You know, the psychology of perverts and really highly immoral humans. But now, you get me? I connected it to a higher level of wisdom, which is always actually demons. The human is just a flesh. They're empty. They're just possessed. The human doesn't even know what the hell's going on. They just agree to the evil. They just don't know who is in front of them. They don't know it's me. One day they're going to freak out. Okay, but anyways, it's not real, so I don't have to take it personally. So for that reason, okay, they would always act dominant, not just perverted, you know? Which obviously you acting perverted, you acting dominant, because you're saying to someone something like, you get me, just the quality of acting perverted to somebody is you acting dominant anyway, you know? You're putting them down basically, right? As some object thing like, hey, honey, come over here. You get me? You're already acting dominant over them as if you can command them and to make them, you get me, like that. Okay. So this male, right? He does something perverted, and I told them, don't ever say that again. Before, I used to actually tell them to behave, and they would usually behave. Some would try to act like they're defending themselves. So I know how to deal with humans who defend themselves when you tell them to stop saying something sexist or perverted. It's a demon, okay? Sometimes the human is not even there. Okay, anyways, and that's why they don't get tired. That's why they just don't shut up, you know? Perverts are the ones that usually are not going to shut up when you tell them to stop being evil. While other humans who are toxic, maybe they stole something, whatever, at some point they give up. But the pervert usually never shuts up. They always try to justify their sexism to women and their perversion to anything. You get me? Okay, because it's like the worst of the demons you can imagine possessing them. So you get me? They have more energy than a human, so they don't shut up. And if the demon gets tired, another one possesses them, and it doesn't shut up. It keeps arguing with you. You're thinking, what the hell? Give up already. You're not a human. How could you argue all day? Also, the reason why their face looks like dead or weird or like empty soul, that they're acting that way, just so you know. They don't ever become that way. They're empty on the inside, but especially psychopaths or narcissists or humans, when, let's say, maybe their family or someone is confronting them for what they did to them as a child, like they abused this person, right? And these people want them to maybe admit to it or say sorry or whatever. And you can tell they sort of like are smirking, but it's not obvious, or their eyes look like some animal. Just so you know, they're acting that way because you're giving them power. If you stop doing that, they stop doing that. They're just a human, okay? They're just what you expect a human to be. Who's evil or what? They're weak. They have emotion too. It's just that when humans usually react to them, right? Fight with them, argue with them, say sorry to me, you know what you did to me. They enjoy that goodness. You're giving them power. Who cares? Just take legal action, move on, right? Why are you treating them like they need to admit to this? And right? Why? What, are criminals not liars? So what's wrong with you? Why are you giving them so much importance, basically? So because you're giving them importance, the victim, right? Not every human who's been harassed does that. Some humans are strong and assertive, and they just come after you legally and move on with their life. But the weaker humans, who usually they self-destruct, right? They get into drugs, alcohol, bad relationships, similar to the parents who abuse them, humans who have similar character. Okay, those are the weak humans. I call them the victim creation. I separate human beings into different categories because we have to respect those who are strong. These are the ones that then, the weakest of God's creation, a pervert, an immoral human, a weak human, possessed by hundreds of demons, the dumbest, the one with the lowest of self-esteem. They're going to treat you like you're weaker than them. They're going to act dominant around you. That, you get me? And people are going to observe, and they're going to actually think that perverted human is actually more calm and cooler than you. Because they're acting that way because this human is giving them power. When you stop doing that, then they really do express what you think an evil human should look like. Very weak and right, broken. Okay, so I know how to make humans who are evil stop acting that way around, right? Like, let's say detectives and police, and I know how to get them to stop doing what they do around those humans. Don't they always act like they don't feel anything, that they laugh, they smirk, they try to creep you out, right? Like they're actually tough and scary, and that's an act. They're acting, they're fake as hell. They're weak as hell. That's why usually when people want to punish them, like let's say you grab a knife, right? Then they shut up, they stop acting. But when you sit there and you say, okay, we're going to take you to jail, they just laughing because they know that's not the punishment they deserve. That's not the punishment God tells you to give a rapist or a murderer. He tells you to kill them. So their demon is confident because this thing gets to live longer. They're going to try to do those same crimes now in prison or jail. You get me? So they're confused, you know, that we live in a time where no one treats them as evil as they should be treated. No one gives them the sort of, what is the word? Dismissal that they deserve. They should be dismissed. They're filthy things. Who cares? We should dismiss them. The ones that you can call before they harm others, well, you call them. You call them to repent and change. You do your best that their soul gets saved. But you get me? Because humans don't treat them the way they should be treated because God's true version of morality is not here. They're confident, get it? That's why they're so confident. And they're not scared the way you want them to be scared in a detective, in an investigation room with a detective. Why should they be scared? You're not going to kill them. You're not going to beat them. Like, right, let's say a victim beats you and you're trying to beat them up. They beat you up. Like, there's no defense here. There's nothing you guys are doing. You're just talking. You're treating them like some important official, actually. You actually give them a lot of behaviors that seem respect. You get me? You treat them like a human. I'm not talking about people you have no evidence. I mean, those you actually know did something. Goodness, you actually saw them commit the crime. What the hell are you treating them like that for? Mr. Something Something, do you want to speak on this? Okay, Mr. Something Something. What? Kill them and end it. We're done. But because we don't live in that sort of innate nature that God created human beings to be as aggressive as me, you guys are different. Because you're not as moral as you're supposed to do. Are you supposed to be? You're not as healthy as you're supposed to be. Religion is not here to guide the laws of governments, and these humans now take over your governments. Duh. It's always going to be very creepy in those courtrooms. You know, the predator's always going to be treated like a human. And they're not a human, I just told you. They lose their humanity when they descend to being a predator to God's creation. To themselves or others, doesn't matter. A human is only a good person, a normal person. So for that reason, and in a metaphorical way, they really are not a human, get it? Because they're actually possessed by demons when they descend to being predators and evil like that. So for that reason, what was I talking about? Yeah, this is just how they act, is an act. When they're around someone who knows they're acting, then they stop acting. And they actually could go on their knees and beg you the way you expect an evil human to be. You get me? To cry and like that. Okay. So these demons, God always, right? The power he gave them, they're always going to approach me and act. They was gonna act tough, act fearless, act confident, they was gonna act. They was gonna act like a zombie. But if I look right into their eyes, the human freezes. Even though they're blind, obviously I still have power over them. The human freezes. Only I can get them to stop freezing, just so you know. They'll just freeze and stay there the whole time. If I was to attack them, they can't do anything. I just don't attack them. I'm not an evil person, and in that situation, I have the right to, right, be aggressive, but that's not a situation where God wants me to be aggressive. Okay, so they get to benefit from that. So for that reason, you get me? Only I can sort of release them from it. Maybe if I just walk away or whatever, then they would leave. But now they have more power to act more crazy around me. You know what I mean? Instead of just freezing and leaving, they might bring others to the environment and sort of, they just create more chaos. They just want to sort of distract you from actually looking at them. They want to distract me, from looking at them, because my eyes intimidate the hell out of them, because then they sort of remember. You get me? They sort of remember who's there, but they don't know me, obviously. They just feel my power, basically. But you're just possessed. You're just blind. The demon is also blind. The witchcraft, the power, whatever God put in them. I don't mean God put it in them like, right, he's evil. Whatever power, right, that is operating within them is blinding them. So then they're just going to act the way that God intended them to act, to teach me something. So that's why I'm saying it's not even something you even have to respond to, because it's not even something you have to even deal with. You're being taught something. You get me? So they actually, unconsciously, even though they don't know anything, even though they don't know God is using them to teach me something, I can hear their sort of cry, the human and the demon. I can actually hear their cry. They're always saying to me, please don't kill us. Please don't do anything. Please don't. It's like they're sort of reminding you, this is not real. We're not actually insulting you. We're just being made by God to come here and act this way around you so you can learn the psychology of perversion, the psychology of other types of evil, and the way that then that connects to how prophets were accused of being perverts and evil and all this stuff. And how that connects to how God's identity was corrupted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like they're reminding me. It's like they're telling me, please don't actually get mad at us, you know? I swear to God, that's what they're saying to me when I look at them. That's why they're freezing. They're also freezing to remind me, no, we are scared of you. You're not a regular person. We're not doing this. God is making us do this. We're being used. It's like they're talking, telling me something, but it's coming to my mind, that subconscious part of me. And also God is telling me things too, that this is not real. Don't take it personally. God's sort of own way of speech is also coming to me. So anyways, see, it went on too long. Goodness. Because I have to explain psychology to you. I can't just tell you a story. So this demon, right, was trying to act dominant in another way, right? Not just dominant in terms of acting perverted, right? As if you can treat a human like an object. And then two, they try to act dominant in the sense that they act like they can actually be violent or something. So I said to him, don't talk or something like that. I don't remember what I said. Or whatever, I don't know what I said. And I just kept walking, you get me? But then he said, I actually have a gun. I'll shoot you. And see, that younger me, it was like, what year was that? I think it was 2020. I didn't necessarily know these were demons, but I knew this thing was like a character. Character means what? False, right? You can create a story today, you can create a character. I knew it was a character. I knew it was fake, you know? I always knew it was never the human. Isn't that amazing? God created me in a way that he told me when they first started appearing and actually approaching and saying things in front of my face, which was around 2015. They sort of were acting crazy 2008 too, but 2015 was when actual mature adult males would approach, you know, I don't want to say approach me, you get me, because it's not directed at me. They would just approach, you get me, you get me? And they would say perverted things. I told you, they don't say something else. There's many ways to insult people. It's because God's showing me that perversion comes from these types of humans. And if you observe them, okay, they're obviously very filthy and evil. And then you say, oh, they're possessed. Are prophets possessed? Is anyone right now who likes to act like Prophet Muhammad? They act like the stories about him is true, right? Okay, are they going to say their prophet is possessed? No, they're going to say he's righteous, he's pure. You can... So, one, God is saying these types of filthy humans are the only ones who are perverted. Not people who are close to God, obviously. So, it's only them in history who wrote down these lies. And since they're carnal, since they're a creation that's human and flesh, and they don't have supernatural powers, they cannot therefore lie about prophets because prophets are supernatural. Therefore, their demons, right? Their demons who have supernatural abilities are the ones who possess them and lied about those prophets. You see what's going on? That's what I'm trying to always correct you. Humans are not the ones who have the power to lie about God or prophets. God is divine. Prophets are supernatural. Whoever God uses in the future is going to be supernatural. Therefore, you, a human, cannot actually bother them. Get it? You can't do anything bad towards them. You would be afraid of them. Okay, but demons get to possess you who are supernatural. You get me? And that's only with God's permission. So it's an extra higher level of power, and it's not the typical normal way that demons just have power. Because in that typical normal power, they cannot bother prophets. You get what I'm saying? So it's actually really, really irrational power. And therefore it only happens to prophets. I wish God didn't do that. Because then they would obey prophets. No one would lie about them. and at least they would be the hero in the story. You know how the hero can come and attack the bad guy? That's how prophets then would always be. But instead, demons get to possess humans and bother them as if it's some regular male they just want to go to war with. I just told you, goodness, you can't touch these people. Woo! So there's a lot of frustration on prophets' parts that I can feel because I can feel it. These human beings and demons don't have power over me because I'm not a regular human. Okay, but when God puts this power in them, right, where they're able to do behaviors that are you get me, behaviors that are not possible, as if you're challenging or bothering or harassing the person or being violent, well, that obviously hurts my ego. That hurts my feelings, because that's not real. You don't have the power to treat me like that. Okay, so prophets felt the same way, but that's a test for them from God. He's telling them, I'm doing this to you, so you just let it go. Okay, anyways, this demon possessed him to say, I will shoot you, I have a gun. He's lying. Okay? So that's God's way of then showing me, my name is Marian. It's like God saying, Marian, the same way this character is lying, he cannot touch you, he cannot kill you. You have power over human beings and demons that they don't know. They cannot touch you. You're not a regular human like them. But still, I gave them the power to say such a statement to you that they will shoot you. But that's a lie. That's just persecution. That's just a test I'm putting you through. It's the same way they said and did that to prophets. So do you see what I'm saying? I'm being used to be put in the same experiences as prophets and messengers of God to show you the limitations of demons when God gave them extra power to persecute them. They cannot harm you, okay? And they actually respect you, just so you know, because you have authority over them. Other episodes I will upload sharing with you the actual authority and power God actually gave me over demons and human beings. And just so you know, right now I'm in a public place. The demons keep turning their head when I record this. You get me? Because they're listening and they keep agreeing with it and they keep putting their head down and they're uncomfortable. I can hear what their thoughts are as they turn their neck. So you, a human, will see someone turning their neck. You're just going to think they're turning their neck. But God gave me the power to actually know people's feelings and thoughts, just so you know. So for that reason, you can never, as a human or a demon, hide your intention, your feelings, and your thoughts from me. I actually know that. So every time they turn their neck, every time they walk, every time they do something, I actually know what the intention, feelings, and thoughts are of the demons possessing them. Okay, and the reason why human beings are not approaching me and saying, oh my God, what did you just say? Right? I'm in a public place, right? It's because they're blind. They can never actually acknowledge me and be like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? They could never acknowledge me. They're dead. So this proves that I'm not a regular human being. This proves that what I'm telling you is true. This proves that human beings are blind for me and demons are blind for me. They're just being made to do things by God, and none of this is real because I'm in a public place and the demons can just look with their eyes, their side eye. They hope that I believe that they can judge me and think about me. Oh my God, they keep looking. But they don't have any actual power to consciously approach me or judge me or listen to me or actually, you get me, just the same way you, a human today, if you go to a public place, you'll record something. Right? Human beings can consciously see you. They're not dead. They're alive and interact with you. No one can do that towards me because all of you are blind from me. Get it? Therefore, that is the evidence that I'm not regular human and that I do have power over you. It's that simple. And the humans are gone, just so you know. So it's really just the demon making that sort of side-eye, rude, dirty look. Is actually the demon sitting there somewhere right now next to an apartment and just listening. The humans possessed, they don't know what they're being possessed to do. You get me? When you're a bad person, you're possessed to go around doing bad behavior. You obviously would agree to it. You consciously choose to do those bad things. But in this situation, God, that's not the situation. In this situation, the human is not agreeing to harass me or bother me because they don't know me. They didn't choose to do anything. It's a power that God just gave demons, and they get to possess who they can, and they get to use you, and you're never aware of me, the person. You're never aware of me. You know? It's just the demons, just their eyes are going to turn, and they're using your face. So you, the human, are gone. It's just the demon who's doing the bad behavior. But that doesn't mean then they're actually bothering me. It doesn't mean they're equal to me and tough or anything like that. No, I have authority over them. They're scared of me. I am stronger than them. And I'm not arrogant. One day you're going to find out why. It's just that they're being made to do this, so it's not real. So I don't have to take demons seriously either. You get me? And the other quality that demons have is to always project to your mind a very loud voice or thoughts that makes it seem like what you're saying is not true. So as I was recording this episode, they possess one or two human beings. The others are usually distracted. They possess two, but they're like not bothering you. But they get to possess one or two or three human beings. They usually like to get in my view, right? Sit in front of me or whatever. And I swear by God's name, that demon is not the one sending me their thoughts, because they don't have that power. Only a demon that's with you can send you thoughts, which I already told you guys. Islam teaches you that there's a demon and an angel with all of us. So because Christians don't necessarily maybe know that, then they might think intrusive thoughts are something else, you know? But we know thoughts are from jinn or demons. Okay, so the demon that's with me is with everybody, good or bad. They only possess those who get to a certain level of sin. They're sending me so many thoughts, attacking every little sentence I was recording, just basically making it seem like it's not true. Sending so much fear to me. Not the beginning. At the beginning, I see the humans they're possessing, they get in front of you, which is important that I'm telling you they get in front of me, because if they're behind my environment, right, they don't get to have the ability to really project their thoughts to me. I'll just feel some darkness behind me, like discomfort. But usually demons are able to project evil thoughts to you strongly when they show you something in your actual own eyes. So they made me see a human, right? Their demon is possessing them. It's not the person. That male is just sitting there, and every time he turns his neck, he's so far away from me, he can't even hear me. That's the other way to prove they're demon. Every time they turn their neck, right, the demon is making like a face, you know, like it's judging you or something. And if you observe their face, they agree. Their body language, it looks defeated. That human, their demon, right? Their body language looks defeated, looks weak. So it's agreeing with what I'm saying, that I'm telling the truth. But then you see, this is how you know how they control your mind or attack your mind and cause all mental problems. Then every time they turn their neck in a sort of attitude-like manner, that's when I get the evil thoughts. You get me? It's so crazy. But every time they turn their neck away, they're still sitting there. They're still there, right? But then the thoughts stop. It's crazy, you know? So it's not that human, their demon projecting thoughts to me. No, it's the one with me telling me what that one is thinking every time it turns its neck at my direction, using that human being, their neck. So this is how they also manipulate you guys, right? Human beings overall. Someone could be, right, walking by or whatever, they turn and stare, right? They make a sort of bad look. To other people, it looks like they just turned around, right? But you saw some dark energy looking at you, some dark, negative, maybe not dark, negative, how about that? Their turn at your direction seemed negative, not accidental, like, oh, is someone there? Because, right, maybe you entered an environment. The neck turn seems negative to you. You actually saw negativity. And to some degree, then if you sort of observe the negativity, right, because just like energy is just negativity, if you observe it, then you can actually see thoughts as to what they were sort of projecting to you. It doesn't mean that's what they think, right? Because evil humans are liars. They project the opposite to you, right? You might be a pretty person, they're jealous of you, but then when they make a negative neck turn at you, then they're going to project you ugly like that. So it doesn't mean that's their thought. It's just what they're projecting, right? So they project a thought to you, right? Like, we know what you're thinking. We know what you're saying. Maybe if you're recording or something. We know you were judging. The thoughts are lying to me, you know, about what that human is actually doing or thinking. That human didn't hear me, first of all. Two, they're blind for me, specifically for my situation. And for you, in your own situation, humans are not blind from you. They can actually observe you and judge you and stuff. Okay, but they don't know you, correct? Usually, I'm talking about the ones who don't know you. And sometimes what they projected to you is not true about you. And you're thinking, why are they projecting that to me? Or what they projected is not even rational or true, right? Like the thought maybe said they're going to do something and they're not. Or they would never do such a thing. Or they cannot do such a thing. This is how demons send you thoughts to just torture your mind with lies. So the third quality is lying. So the first quality of demons, perversion. Okay, second quality, acting arrogant or acting arrogant in the sense that they act dominant. You know, they try to act dominant. They try to act big and powerful and tough, even to people they cannot touch or whatever, like a prophet. They lie. You get me? And then just regular human beings, when they're maybe casting demons out of you, that demon is going to fight inside the body that they're possessing. They're going to say things like, I'll never leave this body. Ha 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 ha. And then 5 seconds later, the person says, get out now in God's name. And God makes them leave within that split second. Why were you laughing and lying and saying you're not going to leave? You get me? So that's just their quality. You get me? They like to act like they have power when they don't. They like to act like you're not succeeding when you are against them. Maybe you're praying against them. Maybe your demon manifested, meaning a human approached you in that moment is their demon interacting with you. And maybe you command it to leave and it really is going to leave, but it's going to laugh and smirk as it leaves. What the hell? Christians know that. They know that. They say a story about the devil where they said a devil comes to steal something from your home and you tell him to put things down. And as he's leaving, he's going to talk back to you. He's going to be like, no, I'm not. Ha. He's going to just mock you. Okay. And then that sort of a religious preacher who's giving that story said, but you don't know that as he was doing that, he was actually putting your stuff down. You get me? They distract you from the fact that they obeyed you and they're leaving you alone, which obviously always means they're obeying God, right? Because, right, you ask God to protect you. You commanded them to do something in the name of God. But that's just their quality. And at some point, it enters human beings because that's just evil. You get me? It's not a quality specific to demons. It's just evil. Evil likes to pretend to be the opposite of what it is. So at some point, a human could be doing that too, right? You tell them to do something, they're actually scared of you, and they actually leave you alone, right? They try to act like they can maybe hit you or whatever, but they're actually scared of you. And as they're leaving you alone, they might make comments, right? Rude comments, mocking comments. And you're thinking, what the hell? You're scared of me and you are walking away. Why are you talking that way then? The opposite, as if you actually are not scared. And that's just evil. So don't think humans are actually thinking they're big. Don't think demons are. You get me? It's not the species. It's evil. Evil is like a substance, like a cloud. You know, it enters somebody. If you become a bad person, evil just enters you. It's like evil has its own mind or something. It's like evil is a living being or something. Evil has its own mind. If it enters you, that's just how God created it. It's always gonna act big and scary and powerful. You get me? So just know that. That's why evil humans, criminals, bullies, that's why they also act like the way they do, you know? When they approach you, they try to act like this big, powerful thing that you don't have the power to use self-defense and stop them. You get me? They're gonna, as they're approaching you, make their body language and everything seem like some scary, big, powerful thing when they're not. They're just a human. You can defend yourself. So for demons, it's worse. You get me? Even when you command them to leave using prayer, right? And they're actually leaving you. Even if God delivered you from them, that day they leave in your city because maybe you were stalked by crazy people who are always possessed, like gang stalking is a witchcraft. If maybe gang stalking stops because God delivers or frees you from it, that last day they have to leave your city, they're going to act even more chaotic because they don't want you to ever believe it worked, that God is helping you. So that's just their other quality. So first quality, perversion. Oh, no. Let's actually put it in sort of perspective. First quality, they like to act dominant. Another word for that would be arrogance, right? Because Islam and Christianity will tell you the devil, sort of his sin was arrogance, right? So I want to maybe connect to that so you don't get confused. Okay, the first quality of demons is to act dominant. Okay, so arrogance would fit into that, right? Because arrogance is like you acting like you have power that you don't have, right? Okay. And then their second quality, because they like to act right, dominant or powerful or whatever, is perversion, you know? They're going to get into perversion. Their second quality is they're perverted. And the third quality is they're liars. They just lie. They always lie, which is then the thoughts in your mind, just like those thoughts were lying to me about what those demons are thinking about me when they're not. You get me? And then 4 would be they're thieves. They steal from you in this life. So those are the first 4 primary qualities. And that's the first big sin or crimes you see in the world, right? Defamation, accusation, all those big things like lying, right? And then stealing, and then violence or perversion, right? Is like acting dominant over people, right? And then the other one is arrogance. You are obviously narcissistic, psychopathic, just arrogant acting, attitude, those types of qualities of a human. So for that reason, it's very logical that the devil is acting like he's powerful and big and killed prophets, and he acts like he was this fallen angel. He's a liar because he likes to act fake dominant. Get it? An angel is more dominant. They have power. They do a lot of work for God. So for that reason, they like to act dominant. You get me? As if they're angels and they fell from grace. No, you're just a different species. So then that's how it manifests into how they then lied. They have a desire to be more powerful than they are. So for that reason, they're always going to lie about their limitations, which then explains why when they are given extra power by God to persecute people he chooses, they're always going to approach the person and act fake dominant around them, but they're scared of the person, you know, etc.